Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a fascinating and honestly kind of dangerous glitch in human psychology. We're going to look at exactly why our brains are completely hardwired to mistake confidence for actual competence. It's this wild phenomenon that shapes our daily lives, our history, and yeah, even our wallets. So, let's just jump right into it.
Now, I gotta ask, have you ever trusted a confident fool? Have you ever believed someone simply because they sounded so incredibly certain, only to find out later they were completely 100% wrong? I mean, maybe it was a classmate who boldly gave the worst possible answer for a group project, or a politician speaking with absolute certainty about some policy that just crashed and burned, or even a social media influencer confidently spreading terrible health advice. Hey, we have all been there. Today, you're going to discover exactly how these people literally hijack our brains.
Moving on to Section 1, the illusion of confidence. Let's peel back the very first layer of why we are just so inexplicably drawn to loud certainty.
So here's the thing. Confidence is an internal feeling, right? It's just a belief in your own ability. Competence, on the other hand, is an external reality. It's your actual proven skill. And the gap between these two? It can be absolutely massive. So, why do our brains confuse them so easily? Well, think back to the ancient wilderness. Survival out there depended on incredibly rapid decision-making. A leader who hesitated for even a second could literally get the whole tribe killed. So we actually evolved to blindly follow confident leaders, because to our ancestors, certainty simply looked like safety.
And because of that evolution, we all walk around with this subconscious, hardwired checklist. We're talking strong eye contact, a clear, steady voice, really fast answers, upright body posture, simple language. When someone hits these marks, our brains just get hacked. We instantly assume, oh, they must be an expert. A fast answer just feels like a knowledgeable answer, even if what they're actually saying is complete and utter nonsense.
All right, Section 2, your brain on certainty. Let's get into the deep neuroscience and psychological biases that actually cause this trap.
Inside your head right now, there's a battle raging. Over on one side, you've got the amygdala. That's the emotional center of your brain. It processes rapid trust, recognizes patterns, and gives you those nice dopamine hits. Now on the other side, you have the prefrontal cortex. That is your logical, slow, critical thinking fact checker. Here's the crazy part. When someone speaks to you with extreme confidence, their tone directly triggers your amygdala. It just feels safe. And because of that, it completely bypasses the logical prefrontal cortex entirely. To save energy, your brain literally chooses emotion over logic.
This biological hijack creates a potent cocktail of cognitive shortcuts. First off, we've got authority bias, which makes us inherently trust anyone who seems to be in charge. Then add in the halo effect. This is where, if we like someone's sharp suit or their confident voice, we just automatically assume they're super smart. Top that all off with social proof from following the crowd and confirmation bias to validate our gut feelings, and suddenly, it makes total sense how our brains rapidly and often totally incorrectly build trust. That brings us to Section 3, the science of blind trust. Let's take a look at some famous psychological experiments that prove just how dangerous our own biology can actually be.
Okay, you have very likely heard of this one, but it's pretty much the cornerstone of blind trust, the Dunning-Kruger effect. This is a cognitive bias where people with extremely limited competence just drastically overestimate their abilities. It perfectly explains that painful irony of why the least knowledgeable people in a room are so often the loudest and the most stubbornly certain. They literally don't know enough to realize how much they don't know. It's wild. Notice that massive spike in confidence way over on the left side? That right there is high confidence paired with absolutely zero skill. It's often affectionately called Mount Stupid. Now, as people actually start to gain some average skill, their confidence completely plummets. Why? Because they suddenly realize, oh wow, this topic is incredibly complex. Finally, your true experts do regain their confidence, but get this, it almost never reaches the blind arrogance of the beginner. It's just a terrifying disconnect between a person's self-assessed ability and their actual real-world performance.
65%. That is a massive number, and it represents the participants in the famous Milgram experiment who actually administered what they fully believed was a lethal electrical shock to a total stranger. Why? Simply because a confident authority figure in a lab coat told them to. You can also add in the Asch conformity study to this mix, where people knowingly gave the wrong answers just to fit in with a confident crowd. Now look, it's true that modern psychology heavily debates the methodology of some of these classic studies today, but the overarching, pretty terrifying lesson remains the same. Human beings are biologically wired to obey confident authority even when it causes direct harm.
Let's shift gears a bit. Section 4, confidence in modern life. Let's take all this science out of the laboratory and see what it looks like in the real world. Mistaking certainty for accuracy isn't just some quirky little brain glitch, right? It is a recurring, fatal human flaw. Just think about the Titanic, boldly, loudly proclaimed as unsinkable. Or consider those massive financial bubbles, from the dot-com crash all the way to the 2008 housing crisis, which were largely driven by loudly confident bankers. I mean, from Blockbuster literally laughing off Netflix to countless wars sparked by wildly overconfident leaders, blind confidence has consistently shaped our history, and usually for the worse.
And what about today? Well, the problem is completely supercharged now. We are constantly surrounded by modern confidence artists. You know the ones, fake gurus selling those get-rich-quick courses, influencers hyping up truly terrible crypto investments. And now we even have AI-generated text confidently presenting bizarre hallucinations as absolute undeniable fact. The thing is, social media algorithms don't check for truth. They actually weaponize our biology. They reward loud, viral certainties simply because it grabs our attention, while completely burying any sort of nuanced accuracy.
So, what do we do about it? Section 5. How to protect yourself. It is time to empower your mind.
These 5 steps are going to be your concrete defense mechanisms against everyday confidence tricks. Step 1. Pause. Literally, just take a breath. Give your prefrontal cortex a second to catch up with your amygdala. Step 2. Separate confidence from competence. Ask yourself, is this person actually skilled or are they just really loud? Step 3. Ask for evidence. Data doesn't care if you have a strong speaking voice, right? Step 4. Check multiple sources. Never, ever rely on just one confident voice. And finally, Step 5. Recognize emotional manipulation. If someone is giving you a sudden rush of excitement or a huge spike of fear just to get you to agree with them, your logic is being manipulated.
I really want to let these contrasting truths sink in for a second. Confidence does not equal knowledge. Loud does not equal right. Popularity does not equal truth. And certainty absolutely does not equal accuracy. Fully embracing this cognitive dissonance, it's pretty much the only way to be a smart consumer of information in our modern world.
I want to leave you with this final, really powerful thought. The smartest people are often comfortable saying, "I don't know." The most dangerous people are those who are certain about everything. So, here is my challenge to you. I want you to reflect today on a time that you trusted someone just because they sounded super confident, only to realize later that they were dead wrong. Hold on to that. Use that memory as your armor going forward. And hey, if you found this explainer helpful, definitely share your own story of misplaced trust in the comments. It's really one of the best ways we can all learn from each other. Thank you so much for exploring this with me.